devastating news, I would say, but I don't think it was unexpected given the time period of the season. Caitlin Clark announced on her social media that she will miss the rest of the season. She captioned it in short, in part, "I had hoped to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play this season. I spent hours in the gym every day with a singular goal of getting back out there. Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I am feeling." She was limited to 13 games this season.
This is wild. Candace Parker just detonated a truth bomb the WNBA never wanted dropped. Caitlin Clark being shut down for the year isn't just a setback for Indiana. It's a catastrophe for the entire league. The ratings magnet, the ticket seller, the cultural phenomenon gone. And now the whispers are growing louder. What if Clark decides she's had enough and walks away altogether? That's not paranoia. That's the nightmare scenario. The WNBA thought it had time to fix its problems. Time's up. Ask yourself, if Caitlin Clark quit tomorrow, what would this league even look like? Spoiler, a wreck. Clark, barely 2 years into her pro career, is sidelined with nagging groin and leg injuries. And you can hear it in her voice, the frustration, the exhaustion. Fans know this isn't just about a lost season. This is about relentless pressure, cheap shots, and a league that refused to protect its brightest star. Candace Parker called it. The WNBA failed the player keeping it alive. And now, the clock is ticking.
She was limited to 13 games this season, and she hasn't played since July 15th when she suffered a right groin injury in the final minute of the Fever's win versus the Sun right before the All-Star game.
I mean, that's our girl. You know, that's our girl. And I feel like no matter what happened, you have to protect you and you have to protect your...
Enter Candace Parker, a legend who knows exactly what it means to push a body past its breaking point. And she didn't sugarcoat it. Parker flat out said Caitlin Clark made the right call by shutting it down. She admitted that late in her own career, she ignored the warning signs, tried to grind through injuries, and paid the price. Her message? Crystal clear. Don't let the league bully you into risking your future. Take care of your body first. That's wisdom spoken with authority.
There's no reason to force anything. And I feel like her just kind of having that approach of doing what's best for her is all we can ask for, because we'd rather Caitlin sit out and then come back next season and we're ready to roll and we're ready to rock. And so we've just been supporting her and she's been supporting us. She's always there. We're getting to watch film and she's in there walking through saying, "Hey," and we're like, get out, go do what you need to do. But I mean, she's still the same. And I feel like our approach, because we've been missing her for so long, is just to come in and compete. And we have a good rhythm, I think, with everyone that's came in. And so just keeping that as our main.
This is wild. Candace Parker just detonated a truth bomb the WNBA never wanted dropped. Caitlin Clark being shut down for the year isn't just a setback for Indiana. It's a catastrophe for the entire league. The one player dragging women's basketball into the mainstream is gone, and the ripple effects are nuclear. Enter Parker, a legend who knows exactly what it means to push a body past its breaking point. And she didn't sugarcoat it. Parker flat out said Clark made the right call. She admitted that late in her own career, she ignored the warning signs, tried to grind through injuries, and paid the price. Her message? Don't let the league bully you into risking your future. Take care of your body first. That's wisdom spoken with scars to back it up. But here's the bigger issue. This isn't just about Clark's health. This is about the WNBA's entire future dangling by a thread. Every single metric that matters, ratings, attendance, jersey sales, skyrocketed because of her. Fans didn't show up because they suddenly loved the WNBA brand. They showed up for Clark. They bought her jersey. They tuned in for her highlights. And now, their golden ticket is sitting in street clothes. The nightmare question, what if Clark decides she's done? If that happens, the fallout is catastrophic. Empty arenas, dead ratings, silence. And don't forget, this was avoidable. The league failed to protect her. Every game turned into a brawl. Now the golden goose is gone. Bravo, WNBA. Brilliant work.
Steph White had said that they were hopeful that Clark would return by the end of the regular season, but Caitlin was unable to fully reincorporate back into practice. And, you know, she had never missed a game in her collegiate career or first year in the WNBA. So this is definitely a blow, I'm sure, for the organization, but also for her. Fever went 8-5 when Clark played and 15-15 without her. You all did win the Commissioner's Cup for the first time in franchise history without her, so maybe that is also another precursor. But big picture from the outside looking in, I have been a player that has had a number of injuries.
Parker sees it clearly. Playoff basketball isn't just tough, it's brutal. Faster, harder, nastier. The absolute worst time to push a star back from injury. You don't bring a Ferrari into a demolition derby, but that's exactly what the WNBA wanted. Clark limping around just to squeeze out a few more ratings points? That's not leadership. That's desperation. The truth is, Clark knows she holds the real power. She doesn't need the WNBA needs her. She could quit tomorrow and still have her pick of opportunities. Broadcasting, endorsements, international ball, even building her own empire from scratch. Meanwhile, the league? It's still a charity case propped up for years by the NBA's safety net. Think about it. After decades of trying to break through, the WNBA finally had its biggest growth spurt. Not because of brilliant leadership, not because of Angelbert's speeches, but because of one player. One star, barely in her sophomore season, carried them further than anyone before. That's why the quit the league talk doesn't sound crazy. Fans are already saying it out loud. If Clark's not playing, I'm not watching. That's not loyalty to the league, that's loyalty to her. And if she walks, they walk too. That's what instant regret looks like. And the WNBA? They brought it on themselves.
And taking the time, and there is a difference in being a role player and coming in and playing a role and coming in off of an injury. There is a rhythm, but when you are Caitlin Clark and you have the ball in your hands and you are on the other team's scouting report, to come in half and not be able to be in that amount of, I would say, rhythm of the game, because the rhythm of the game changes towards the end of the year. And so when it started getting closer to the end of the regular season, I was like, it's dangerous to come back during playoff basketball because the whole flow, the physicality, all of that is different. And so I know it's difficult to kind of take time and understand the big picture, especially when you're living with tunnel vision and you've worked so hard to get to where you're at, but it's the smart thing. And I'm proud of this generation for taking the time they need, looking at the bigger picture, and making sure that they get healthy. So, Caitlin Clark, hope you feel better. You have a great off season and you come back.
Candace Parker deserves credit for saying what needed to be said. She wasn't just giving Caitlin Clark advice, she was putting the WNBA on blast without even saying its name. Respect your players. Stop running them into the ground. Stop pushing them back too soon. Clark isn't some bench piece you can roll out and hide. She's the player every scouting report circles in red. She's the star opponent's game plan around, the reason casual fans actually tune in. And if she's not at 100%, she has no business being out there. Parker, a legend who knows the game inside and out, applauded Clark for realizing that truth before it was too late. She admitted it herself. Late in her own career, she ignored the warning signs, tried to grind through injuries, and paid the price. Her message couldn't have been clearer: don't make my mistake. Don't let the league bully you into sacrificing your future for their short-term ratings grab. But here's the real twist. This isn't just about health. It's about trust. Clark gave everything to the game this season. She grinded in rehab for hours every day. She did the media rounds. She carried the burden of being the face of the league before she even had a chance to breathe. And when the time came for gratitude, who did she thank? Not the league office, not the referees, not leadership. She thanked her fans. She thanked her teammates. Period. That's not just a subtle omission. That's a statement. The fans showed up for her. The league didn't. And that's why all the Clark could walk away. Talk isn't just rumor mill noise. It's a very real possibility. Because Clark has already learned the hard way that the WNBA won't protect her. They let her get shoved, hip-checked, elbowed, and hacked night after night. And instead of putting their foot down, the refs swallowed the whistles. The league stayed silent, and everyone pretended it was just physical play. Physical play? No, that was targeted abuse. So why should she keep playing a rigged game? She doesn't need the WNBA. Let's be brutally honest. The WNBA needs her. If Clark walked away tomorrow, her options would be limitless. She could cash out with endorsements, broadcasting gigs, media projects, even ownership opportunities. She could take her game overseas to Europe and earn more money, tax-free, playing fewer games, and actually get a whistle when defenders tackle her to the floor. Or she could leave basketball behind entirely and build an empire bigger than the WNBA itself. Clark doesn't need the league. The league needs Clark like oxygen. And if she leaves, the fallout would be nuclear. Fans didn't flock to the WNBA out of some sudden burst of brand loyalty. They showed up for her. They bought her jersey. They tuned in for her highlights. They flooded arenas to see her play. Take her out of the picture, and those same fans vanish overnight. That's not me speculating. Fans are already saying it. If Clark's not playing, I'm not watching. And that's what instant regret looks like. Because let's not pretend the WNBA hasn't been here before. This league has always hovered in that frustrating, almost there, but not quite zone. Players have been complaining for years about salaries, travel conditions, subpar facilities. Angel Reese grabs headlines, often for the wrong reasons. The league's biggest headlines too often come from drama, not dominance. Then Clark burst onto the scene, and suddenly all the old problems disappeared under the floodlights of her star power. For one fleeting moment, it looked like the WNBA had finally turned the corner. But the second Clark went down injured, the illusion shattered. The curtain dropped. And what did we see? The same old WNBA problems staring us right in the face. And that's where Candace Parker's voice cuts the deepest. She lived this already. She admitted she sacrificed her body, ignored injuries, pushed through pain, and paid dearly for it. And now, from her vantage point as a retired legend, she's basically waving a red flag. Don't repeat my mistakes. The fact that she even has to say it proves the league hasn't learned a damn thing. So what will the WNBA do next? Probably what they always do. Issue some sterile press release about player safety or supporting Caitlyn's recovery, as if that fixes anything. Fans see right through that. They watched her get battered. They watched the whistles stay silent. They watched league leadership shrug while their superstar limped around. No statement is fixing that. That's why Clark walking away isn't a fantasy. It's a legitimate possibility. And if it happens, the fallout will be catastrophic. All those record-breaking ticket sales? Gone. All the jersey sales and merch numbers? Gone. All those highlight reels dominating social media? Gone. Overnight, the league would slide right back into irrelevance, begging networks for scraps of airtime, while the player who dragged them into the spotlight thrives somewhere else. And here's the coldest part of it all. This league has always leaned on its stars. Diana Taurasi carried the torch. Then it was Candace Parker. Then Maya Moore. But Caitlin Clark? She's not just another superstar in the rotation. She is the superstar. The one who brought millions of fresh eyes to women's basketball. The one who turned arenas into sold-out events. The one who made the WNBA matter to people who never gave it a second thought. You cannot afford to lose her. Period. Yet here we are. She's sidelined. The cracks are showing. And the whispers about her future are growing louder by the day. If Caitlin Clark decides she's done with the WNBA, the league isn't just losing a player. They're losing the only reason anyone was paying attention. And if that happens, it won't just be a setback. It'll collapse. Her recent social media post about the injury looked polite on the surface, but fans could feel the frustration beneath every single word. She said she was disappointed, but disappointment doesn't even scratch the surface. For Caitlin Clark, that reads more like betrayed. She held up her end of the deal. She worked. She delivered. She became the storyline the league desperately needed. And what did she get in return? Elbows, flagrant fouls, no whistles, and no protection, until her season finally collapsed. This is year 2 for Clark, not year 1. The hype should already have solidified into dominance. She should be headlining playoff highlights, not watching them from the sideline in sweats. Instead, the WNBA is staring at a massive oh moment plastered across their season. And let's not mince words. If Caitlin Clark walks, the WNBA is staring down ratings in free fall. Empty arenas. Furious sponsors demanding answers. A commissioner scrambling for excuses. The only way to stop that train wreck is simple. Treat Clark like the superstar she is. That doesn't just mean plastering her face on every billboard. It means protecting her on the court. It means fair officiating. It means genuine investment in her long-term career, not just squeezing her dry for a quick payday. And here's the heart of the issue. This league doesn't protect its stars. It exploits them. It markets them to the moon. It cashes in on them. But when it comes time to safeguard their health, their reputations, their legacies, silence. That's the pattern, and Clark is learning it faster than anyone before her. Enter Candace Parker, and her words hit like a hammer. She practically begged Clark not to make the same mistake she did. She admitted she once pushed her body past its limits, tried to play through injuries, and paid dearly for it. Now she's retired, looking back with scars and regrets, waving the red flag for the next generation. Her message? The postseason is no place for half-healed injuries. Protect yourself first. And she applauded Clark for doing just that. Think about what that means. Every force around Clark was pushing her to return. The media, the sponsors, the playoff hype. And she still said no. She chose her future over the league's desperation. That's not weakness, that's strength. It proves she knows her value better than the WNBA does. And the fans? They see it too. They were the ones filling arenas and buying tickets months in advance. Now they're asking the question the league dreads most. If Clark isn't playing, why should I watch? That's the nightmare sentence echoing across social media, ticket sites, and living rooms. This isn't some petty Angel Reese controversy. This isn't a side story about a travel drama. This is the WNBA's crown jewel benched. And while Candace Parker, one of the greatest ever, flat out says, yes, this was the right move. That's not just analysis. That's a crisis. The league has a choice staring it in the face. Step up, protect its most valuable player, and prove it can handle success. Or watch Caitlin Clark walk out the door and take the league's future with her. Because Clark isn't naive. She knows her value. She knows she's bigger than the league. And once a player realizes they don't need the institution loses all control. Here's the difference. When Parker retired, fans were sad, but the league survived. When Sue Bird retired, it stung, but the league survived. If Clark leaves, there is no survival. You don't replace her. You collapse without her. Period. So congratulations, WNBA. You begged for a superstar, and you finally got one. You plastered her on promos, bragged about her ratings, and squeezed her for every dollar you could. And then you let her get hacked, shoved, and battered until her body gave out. Now she's out for the playoffs, and you're staring at the doomsday question. What if she never comes back at all? Here's the bottom line. Caitlin Clark's injury silenced the league, but her walking away would end it. The WNBA cannot survive without her. Candace Parker just made that crystal clear. She confirmed what fans already know. Clark was right to protect herself. And if the league doesn't wise up fast, if it keeps ignoring these warning signs, one day Clark might make the decision no PR spin can cover. She'll walk away for good. And when that happens, the WNBA's regret won't just be instant. It'll be permanent.